and we're going to be doing a sweet video today. It's going to be a dessert that I'm making for a Hanukkah dinner that we're doing this upcoming Sunday. My best friend is Jewish. I am not Jewish, but he lives far from his family, so we always try to put on a nice Jewish-themed dinner for him for Hanukkah and the major Jewish holidays. We're going to be making Charoset Hamantaschen, which was Hamantaschen specifically was his request, and I'm going to be making this out of Breaking Breads, which is a fantastic book that I've cooked several times out of, making challah bread, making a chocolate babka that everybody loved and begs me to make again. So this combines two different Jewish foods. One is charoset, which is served traditionally on Passover as the filling. And Hamantaschen is actually traditionally served on the Jewish holiday Purim. So I'm sure I'm horribly butchering all those pronunciations, but let's go ahead and just hop in. You can make the two main elements of this days ahead of time and then combine them and bake them. You want to eat these the same day you bake them, though. So to get started here, we're just going to combine 2 sticks of butter that are still cold that I've cut up. And it's really important because this is a shortbread that these butter cubes are cold. And now we've got some just plain old sugar. And this is some confectioner's sugar. I'm just going to put that in. And now with any shortbread, you always want to make sure you mix this on low with a paddle attachment. If you mix it, I learned this the hard way from just being a doofus, that if you speed it up to try to make the process go faster, it will not come out correctly. So we're going to put this on low for about 30 seconds until these ingredients combine. All right, the sugar and the butter is combined. Now we're going to add 1.5 beaten eggs to this mixture. And then we're just going to continue to mix it on low until everything combines together. And if it starts to ride up the sides of the bowl, just use your spatula to bring it back down. I temporarily removed the paddle attachment so that it's easier to get these other ingredients in. So now we've got 3 cups plus 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And we're going to end up mixing all this together with the paddle attachment, but as with most shortbread recipes, watch this like a hawk. And if you don't feel comfortable watching it, then you want to just mix it a little bit and then finish it with your bare hands. Because over-mixing shortbread causes problems later. So you want to mix this just until the moment that they all combine and end up looking smooth. And I will show you what the final product looks like so you can compare when you make this yourself. So I've added also some almond flour and some salt, and now I'm going to re-add the paddle attachment and mix on low and watch it, and the second it comes together, you want to stop the mixer. After just a little bit of pressure with my bare hands, the dough came together. It should have a consistency similar to Play-Doh, and if it crumbles, then you've probably overmixed it, and introducing a little bit of liquid might fix that. But generally speaking, this is what it should look like. What we're going to do to make our lives a little easier now, you can see I've put the dough on top of some paper, and I'm going to put another sheet over the top. And now I'm just going to roll this down between the 2 sheets until roughly it gets to a rectangular or square shape. Just wanted to show you that quick little thing to make your life easier when you do recipes like this, especially with shortbread. Now we'll see you tomorrow when we're ready to complete the dish. To make the filling for the Hamantaschen, we're going to start with some whole almonds, about 1/4 cup. And we're just going to put those in the skillet, and we're going to toast them for about 5 to 7 minutes until they get aromatic. The almonds are done toasting, and so now we're going to put these on a cutting board here, and we're going to chop them up. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds, and we're going to toast them as well for about 3 to 4 minutes. Sesame seeds are toasty and brown, so we're going to go ahead and add those to our chopped almonds, and we'll move on to the next step. Now in the same pan, we're going to put 3 tablespoons of water, as well as a tablespoon of sugar, and get that to a simmer. With the mixture now at a simmer, we're going to put about a tablespoon of honey in. And while we're doing that, so I've also grated 1 large Granny Smith apple, and these apples are going to go in as well. And we're just going to cook this for a couple of minutes until the apple gets cooked and all of these things get incorporated with each other. All right, the apples are cooking nicely. Now we're going to add half a cup of chopped walnuts, as well as our almond and sesame seed mixture. And then we're going to continue cooking this just long enough to get everything nice and mixed together. I have chopped up 8 ounces of pitted medjool dates here in this bowl. And now we're just going to add our fruit and nut mixture. And then the last thing is I've got some cardamom, some cloves, and some cinnamon. And we're just going to mix that all together now and then put this in the refrigerator to get it nice and cold. You want this filling to be very cold before it goes into the filling for your Hamantaschen. Apologies for the sunlight coming in through my window box, but you can see the benefit now of cooling the dough in this square shape when it was pliable. So now we're just going to flour the top of it and we're going to roll it out into a really thin sheet, maybe about 1/4 inch thick. I've rolled out the dough. Don't worry about any of these cracks because we're going to re-roll and keep re-rolling the dough to make Hamantaschen until we either run out of filling or we run out of dough. But I want to show you real quick how to make one. So we're going to get our circular cookie cutter here. And we'll cut out a round. Now we've got our ice cream scoop. And we've got our Hamantaschen filling here. We're just going to put a circle of that right in the middle. And then we lift up 3 corners of a circle, right? We essentially make like a little Napoleon hat. And pinch the edges there so that the dough becomes solid and fuses together and you don't end up with leakage everywhere. And here we go. That's one. So I'm going to keep making these and we're going to put these on a baking sheet with parchment paper and go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. The absolute last thing we're doing before we put this in the oven is I've made a simple egg wash of 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of water, and just a pinch of salt. And we're just gonna lightly baste the pastry of all these Hamantaschen. So just pick them up and very lightly just baste the pastry portion and do that for all of them. Then these are gonna go in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 8 minutes on the bottom rack and then rotate it and move it to the top rack for another 7 minutes. Here is the completed Hamantaschen. It comes off like a pie crust almost. You can see it's nice and browned on the bottom there without getting burned, as well as some of the edges there. But yeah, it comes off like a little hand pie, like a really high quality, almost like a McDonald's apple pie. But it's got this nutty, cinnamony gooiness on the inside. I bit into one here so you could see. Man, these just are crumbly, flaky, buttery goodness that I really think you're going to enjoy. So this is my Hanukkah gift to my friend. I hope he enjoys it. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you at the next video.